Proud of you. So let's start. We're going to start with Mr. Ross Cockfield. Mr. Cockfield.
Come around.
You're gonna hand up to him, right? He's gonna hand. Where's the boss?
She had a new-
She got that one already?
Mhm, he has a new one,
Okay.
right there.
Oh, let's begin. Easy.
Here's down here.
Yeah, why don't you hold it for him, Mr. O'Leary?
Very good. Mr. Cockfield, repeat after me. I,
I,
your name,
Ross Cockfield,
do hereby solemnly swear
hereby solemnly swear
to affirm
to affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
that I will perform faithfully
that I will perform faithfully
to the best of my
to the
ability
best of my ability
the duties
the duties
of fiscal officer
of fiscal
of
officer
the East Cleveland Public Library.
of the East Cleveland Public Library.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, this is fine.
Mr. Rashid,
Yes, ma'am.
I know who's gonna hold your Bible.
That's right.
The phone.
Your firm. Repeat after me.
She needs to hold the Bible for him.
Hand it to him. Hold it for him.
Uh-huh. Raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I, Zaki Rashid,
Zaki Rashid,
do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly-
I'm sorry. Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
that I will perform faithfully
that I will perform faithfully
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
the duties of President
the duties of
of
President
the Board of Trustees
of the Board of
of
Trustees
the East Cleveland Public Library.
of the East Cleveland Public Library.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, our Vice President, repeat after me. I
I, Joe Silvera,
will support
will support
the Constitution
the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
and that I will perform faithfully
and that I will perform faithfully
to the best of my
to
ability
the best of my ability
the duties
the duties
of the Vice President
of the Vice President
of the Board of Trustees
of the Board of Trustees
of
of
the East Cleveland Public Library.
the East Cleveland Public Library.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I am.
Did you bring it back?
Oh, here.
Okay, how did you? Thank you.
You got one? Yeah. You bring it on?
Repeat after me. I, your name, do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will perform faithfully to the best of my ability the duties of Secretary of the Board of Trustees of the East Cleveland Public Library. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All the officers. Thank you for giving me the pleasure. Thank you so
Just come up with
all the officers. Mr. Coffee. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh, good job. I like her. Yeah, me
Back to order. We just completed the selection and swearing in of our board officers. And the next thing is, we've done the fiscal office swearing. So, next item on the agenda is communications. Yes. I'd like to start by thanking Dr. Keenan and the school board, Dr. Rice, Dr. Bowman Tag, Dr. Brooks. Thank you for being here and supporting East Cleveland Library and East Cleveland Public Library Board of Trustees. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you.
And our communications, one item, it's in the packet, board travel and conferences for 2022. For board members that are interested, there is a $2,200 per month, which includes daily per diem, lodging and travel. American Library Association's annual will be in Washington, DC, June 23rd to June 28th. Public Libraries Association's annual will be in Portland, Oregon, March 23rd to 25th. Our Library Council Conference, the annual is September 28th to the 30th in Toledo. The director is required to participate in the director's meeting at OLC. The DCALA has not been rescheduled, or the National Association of Black Storytellers. So if we receive those dates, I will share them out to the board. If you're interested in attending any of these conferences, please work with Mr. Turner. For those who have not attended the museum in Cincinnati, to help work with the library's next strategic plan, please work with Mr. Turner as well. That concludes communications.
Concludes our communication. Next item on the agenda is the president's report. And I did not prepare a formal report this month because I just wanted to take a moment to thank the director and team for the library. We've been through some very tough days with the COVID and the illness of our staff. At one time, we were down to less than half of the number of people that it takes to run this library. But Carlos and his team managed to figure out a way to keep us open, to keep us providing the sort of information that the community has gotten used to. And even if we couldn't do it when we wanted to, at least we got out what we could get to the community. So we're going to continue to do the best, and as things continue to ramp back up, we'll move a little bit more precautions out of the way as we continue to move forward into the year and look at the numbers and see if the numbers will permit us to go back to the way that we would like to conduct library services in the past. So I don't have a whole lot, but I just thought it was important for me to mention that, because at one time I remember Ross was gone, this flood was gone, and several other major people, Mr. Cooper was gone, and they were all out because of serving the public. It was kind of like an inside joke to me, but it was not a joke. It was the kind of thing when you say toys for tots, and them little kids came in and slung germs all over. Yeah. And about less than a week later, we were aware that they were here. But at the same time, what are you going to do? The kids depended upon us to have that toys for tots, and we made a sacrifice to get it done. And probably if we thought about it again, we'd probably do the same thing. That's just the kind of team that we are here at the East Cleveland Public Library. So I'm not going to get long-winded, but I just want to say thank you for your support and your kindness. The next item on the agenda is the director's report, Mr. Latimer.
Okay, with respect to time, thank you, Dr. Keith, also for sending out the public notice to notify the community that we will make adjustments to operating hours. The East Cleveland Public Library will be closed Monday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Like he also mentioned, on the past 3 weeks, East Cleveland Public Library, as a public workplace, we were impacted by COVID. We had, at least that we were aware of, 12 library staff members go down with mild or severe symptoms. We are working our way back to a full staff complement. while we're doing that, we still have to provide operations to the community from January 3rd up until January 30th. Our library's operating hours will be Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And Saturdays 10 to 4. We will begin January 31st, our regular hours. Hopefully the COVID surge is declining. We will look at those numbers carefully. We had our first committee meeting yesterday around the public library file, where the 9 county library directors and fiscal officers were divided into committees to come up with recommendations about the current and future formula. So Ross and I are both engaged in that process, and hopefully the recommendations is to keep the formula as it is. I think we will successfully have a resolution moving that forward towards the end of the year. We had to cancel the gospel concert that was scheduled this Sunday, this upcoming, well, January 23rd. Greg Reese and I are working together to reschedule not only that concert that's canceled, but the concerts that we're planning out for the remainder of the year. We will begin the interview process this upcoming Thursday. Deputy Director Teresa Flood, myself, and Fiscal Officer Ross Garfield for the positions in the print copy center. So we have some great candidates, and I will share that out with the personnel. Also, we have an update. We have our consultant, Major Harrison III. He can give us a quick update on where we are with the marquee digital sign. Back there.
Thank you, Mr. Latimer. What would you like me to stand or?
Right there by the podium.
After we have the run and come to my building and grounds.
Okay, well, once the board president reestablishes the committees, we can invite Major to the next Buildings and Grounds Committee.
No, I'm saying, why not he give his presentation during the Buildings and Grounds Committee on the agenda?
Well, I thought it would be appropriate for the director's report, since we haven't had an update.
I'll be brief. Want to assure East Cleveland Public Library, Mr. Director, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice President, that everything is moving accordingly. Obviously, with a project of this magnitude, there are always going to be a lot of moving pieces and parts. Working in conjunction with Mr. Cooper, everything is moving as it should. And we foresee that the removal of the existing sign and partial demolition of that existing footer, as well as the fabrication of the new footer for the sign, that the new marquee to be happening within the next 10 to 15 days business time. Okay. We have coordinated everything with the electrician and with the wiring in regards to the specifications that are needed for the electronic vet center, as well as the networking wiring, the Ethernet system. Okay, so we know exactly what is happening from the outside of the building and coming into the inside of the building. Okay, so we are definitely moving. We have no concerns in regards to the footer installation as it relates to the winter time. We have since in East Cleveland, we have since a very kind of mild winter, so the ground is not frozen. So we are okay in that regards. Met with Mr. Cooper Friday, and we are basically moving forward. All installation, different companies that are doing the installation in conjunction with Wilson Electronics. Everybody is on the same page. Okay, that's basically where we stand. Everything has been processed with the city, with East Cleveland in regards to what we're going to do. The site plan has been set in place. So we are going forward.
So,
And we just look forward to having a great sign for not only East Cleveland Public Library, but the best thing, the best sign that's in East Cleveland. Yes, sir.
the question that I had is you said, the 15 days that you give us as a reference point,
Mhm.
are you speaking of 15 days from today?
Yes, sir. As of Friday, well, actually Thursday, I spoke to Wilson Electronics. I spoke to the company that is doing the footer, and everyone seems to be, they are on the same page, and we want to get this moving. Okay, so this will be happening very, very shortly.
Okay, so we're looking at completion, what is that, David? So we're looking around about that, so to give you some space to work with, February 1st, we should have our sign up and running.
I won't say the sign. No,
Well, I understand what you said. then.
okay. And the footer, as we discussed at the last board meeting, we want to get the footer in first.
Mhm.
We want to get the footer in, we want to build up the brick. Okay, the timetable for the Lake Training Med Centers, I don't have a timetable for that. But because of the uniqueness of what was purchased, we have to allow for a little bit of time. So at the last board meeting, I said, let's build it up and we wait for the signs. That's when we suggested that we may go through a period of time where we have poles set up and are awaiting the actual cabinets that are going to fit over the masonry base. Our emphasis, as we discussed at the last board meeting, was getting the footer in and getting the masonry base. That was our emphasis. We wanted to get that up. And it could possibly have poles sitting up for a small period of time until the actual electronic mesh centers are fabricated and manufactured.
So you're saying that the marquee itself is not, you can't just order it, so they have to manufacture it?
You have to build these units, yes.
And you're saying now putting the footer in, how long is that going to take? What time frame that you feel that that will take?
The actual construction time,
I put in the footer in, yes, not the total construction.
I believe it's gonna happen within one day. We're pouring concrete, we're building it up. We're gonna set the poles and await the actual mesh centers and the signs.
So this, so when, when are you gonna get started on that?
And then I say within the next 15 days.
If the weather permits.
I think that we are good with the soil and so forth. I think that we are just going. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're correct, because I remember last meeting when you were saying that, you know, it depended on whether the ground was frozen and different things like that, so I recall that. So I don't do construction, but I just want to know, because we know that any given time the weather can do what it does. So it is a give and take. But as far as the process is concerned, when there's a project of this size, there should be an established guideline, so to speak. I think instead of looking at it as pieces and parts, I think, so let's say you put the poles up or whatever, and I'm not speaking in sequence, just to give you an example.
Sure.
So you put the poles up, and then we anticipate by late February, we have this, and we anticipate maybe sometime in April. Like, is there because there's usually like a goal planning thing to give us an idea so that each meeting, we're not asking the same question, okay, what happens next? What happens next?
Sure.
Give us some kind of time to
Sure.
outline.
Okay, and to answer your question, Mr. McDonald, I have not spoken to Wilson Electronics in regards to their fabrication time and where they are in the process, and that's on me, that's my apologies. Okay. I do know when the footer and the basis of everything is going to be established. Okay. I have no problem with working with or speaking with Mr. Cooper and letting Mr. Latimer know where they are in regards to the actual manufacturing of the electronic message centers. Okay. My biggest thing at this point, due to weather, is getting this footer in and getting these poles established. Okay, so that the signs can come in, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
The sign aspect of it,
Mm.
and once that's all manufactured and fabricated, that's a lot smaller than what we want to try to get done underground and get everything built up.
Yeah, we just want some
Sure,
type of thing,
sure.
because that was like a nice price tag. So we just want to make sure we.
Completely understand. Yeah, and I'll get those, I'll talk to Wilson this week and figure out or kind of see where they are in that portion of it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mhm.
But the biggest thing is that we have lined up all the electrical. We've lined up all the Ethernet cord, and we've lined up the footer, the footer detail. Okay, so you will basically have concrete, and you'll probably see some small wire that's kind of wrapped up and awaiting everything else. Okay, so, and it took a little bit longer than we expected. I know when we last talked about this on November 20th, we anticipated this happening around the end of December. Okay, now we're at January 14th, if I'm not mistaken. 15th, okay. So we are making it happen.
I have another question.
Yes, sir.
Could you make sure that you coordinate these activities and these timelines with the Buildings and Grounds Committee? So that way, all the subsequent meetings that they have between now and the time that we're completed with the project, the Buildings and Grounds would be aware of what's going on. And if we do have any questions, we would be able to directly go back to him and understand what is going on rather than having to drag you in it. Because we have a certified timeline that we can find, then our expectations will be measured based on what we see as being the realities.
That's not a problem. I think as I indicated, Mr. Cooper and I have been in constant conversation in regards to what's going on and how we're doing things. Mr. Cooper is handling the electrical aspect of it, and I'm giving them insight into what's going on with the installation of everything. So we're definitely on the same page. With no worries. And again, we apologize. I mean, we're just a little bit off in a couple of weeks. We really truly anticipated something happening around the end of December. Not going to blame COVID. Definitely not going to blame weather. But however, it is, we're moving right along.
So we can rest assured that within the next week or two, there will be some action in reference to outside.
That is my belief.
Okay.
Yes. That is my belief.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Close the director's report.
Director, I think it's right. That concludes the director's report. We need a motion to accept that.
Chair, I will accept the director's report.
Second.
There's the motion in the second. Is there any further discussion on that? Please, Mr. Turner, call the vote.
Mr. Rashid,
Yes.
Mr. Mays,
Yeah.
Ms. Shahid, Ms. Sharply,
Yes.
Mr. Silvera,
Yes.
Dr. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. McDonald.
Yes.
That's 7 yeses.
7 yeses, the record report has been accepted. Next item on the agenda is the fiscal officer's report, Mr. Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Rashid. Reading directly from the report, we've completed the 2021 year with reconciled cash fund balances of $1,406,270.86, an increase of $224,993.06 over our beginning cash fund balances for 2021. I attribute the increase in balances to an unexpected increase in our PLF distribution, which came in at 125.674% of budget, and our property tax revenue, which came in at 116.836% of budget. Additionally, we received foundation grants in the amount of $107,330.17. On the expenditure side, after our adjusting appropriations resolution in October, we spent 93.68% of the budget. As stated last month in my 2021 summary, building facilities are in a position where routine maintenance and not repair should suffice. We have adjusted our payroll hours to accommodate fluctuating operating conditions, and we have taken steps to adjust our services to the changing needs of our patrons. All of this is being done with an eye toward prudence and planning. Once our final report is filed with the state in February, I plan to give the board a detailed evaluation of our receipts and expenditures along with a 5-year forecast. We closed the year on a good note, and I look forward to our continued progress. That concludes my report.
I move for acceptance of the,
Before we move, I have a question. To Mr. Hatfield. Here where you said position where routine maintenance and not repair should suffer. I was coming. Dealing with the hours of accommodation.
I'm sorry,
What are you?
I'm not able to hear you.
The hours, you alluded to hours. Accommodation. Luxury, operating conditions. When you say payroll hours are fluctuating, can you elucidate further on that? What do you mean by the hours?
Yes, in the middle of this pandemic, needless to say, we're adjusting operating hours. The operating hours are going up and down. As a result of that, staffing requirements are rising and falling. We're opening some sections of the library, closing other sections, allowing meetings, not allowing meetings. So as a result of that, we're paying very close attention to staffing levels and the associated hours that people will be working in order to service the public. So we're paying very close attention to that is what I'm trying to say, which is why our payroll costs are not out of whack, so to speak.
I know there has been some discussion in reference to closing the library earlier, but I think that some of these things should be brought to the full board, whereas we can act upon them without, just taking for granted. This is what we're going to do.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mays, I'm not hearing you.
I said, this should come before the full board in reference to either we closing, I know we had discussed, we did get the okay of closing the library at 4 o'clock. And now I know this pandemic is still raising an ugly head, and a lot of the employees has been affected by it as a result of that. But I think that before we take any further action, I think it should come before the full board as to what hours should be and how, as well as the employees and et cetera.
Well, I'm certainly not here to speak for Mr. Latimer, but certainly given the fluid nature of what's going on, we're making adjustments, pretty much on a day-to-day basis based on what's happening. Staff is out, staff is in. Pandemic, the numbers are going up. Some of them, sometimes they come down, but I'm just saying that, we're paying very close attention to the environment, and we're just not having people on the floor that are, let's just say, unproductive. So we're monitoring and adjusting staffing levels as the need arises.
Okay, let me ask you another question. You can answer it. In reference to, I guess, grants and things that we are receiving, will this have any impact on them because we would not be able to implement some of the things in which these grants are predicated on?
No, the grants that we receive are for specific programs that we're implementing, and those programs are going forward irrespective of what's going on.
Thank you.
Also, I want to also chime in too, and just share with my colleague that periodically I do receive phone calls from Director Vladimir regarding the addition of staff for any given day, especially if it's over and above what we had anticipated for people being out sick. This is a perfect example as to what happened after the Torres Patatas. That day, it changed everything. So when we can move forward back towards a
7 swallows of water stopped.
I'm sorry,
7 swallows of water was stopped.
no, not this. So thanks for your concern. I appreciate it. But he does communicate with us about what's going on. Okay. So that concludes the fiscal officer's report.
We have a motion to accept the report.
We have a motion here.
Yes, second.
Second. Any further discussion? Mr. Chairman, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Rashid,
Yes.
Mr. Mays,
Yeah.
Ms. Shahid,
Yes.
Ms. Sharpley,
Yes.
Mr. Silvera,
Yes.
Dr. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. McDonald. Step out. All right. I have 6 yeses.
6 yeses. The fiscal officer's report has been accepted. Next item on the agenda is the reestablishing of our committees. It would be my delight and hope, as well as the Finance Committee, Personnel Committee, Buildings and Ground Committee, Library Services Committee, Strategic Planning Committee, and Ad Hoc Committees. Stay as we currently have them. Is everybody comfortable with their current assignments in terms of committees? Yes. So do I have to go back over them and read each one?
No,
Okay.
I don't think
So we'll continue the same order we had for last year. It worked pretty well for us, and we will keep on working. Next item on the agenda is the new business. None?
new. I guess you could say new business. I am in the process of drawing what you had said, and I'm saying it from that perspective because it appears that information has gotten out, and I was taught you don't let your left hand do what your right hand is doing. But anyway, I am working on the piece of the resolution or ordinance or whatever you want to call it. And I think you're cognizant of what I mean when I say I'm working on that. And if my memory serves me correctly, that we've been maintaining that for over 10 years, and I'm including that in there, in that resolution, and been maintaining whatever, what we're talking about. So I hope by this week, it will be completed, and I will get it to Mr. Turner to type it up. So I just want to say that.
Okay, so you're speaking of the resolution to be presented to council?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, is that,
yes, yes,
okay, because the reason why I asked that question is because the committee, the ad hoc committee, that it was currently in, well, we'll talk about it later, we'll figure it out.
yeah, that's what.
We'll figure it out, okay, that's fine. Old business. Audience participation.
Where you see that at? Mine says reestablish committee. Do that. Oh, so we're not giving a report? Oh, okay.
Audience participation. We have some guests in the audience. You care to speak?
It picks up sound at the mic. So you don't,
No, you're fine wherever you are. You can just go to the podium.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Patricia Bohoviac, attorney for Farmington. I've asked on a few occasions in the past about whether the library has either an integrated pest management resolution or an asthma-friendly fragrance-free policy.
Will you drop your mask where we can understand what you
I will
said?
not drop my mask, thank you. I'm more concerned about COVID than I am about being heard. And if people can't hear me, then I will happily repeat it in writing to whoever you would like me to
Right,
repeat
just
it
speak a
to.
little louder.
But at any rate, the two concerns are whether you have an integrated pest management policy and whether you have an asthma-friendly fragrance-free policy. I can send you samples if you would like, if you don't have one. The goals are to decrease the incidence of asthma in the population, which is very high in East Cleveland. I had statistics, they're old now, but about the very high incidence of asthma in this community. And it would be an advantage to the city if we did. So, thank you.
send examples and I'll share with the committees, appropriate committee.
Thank you.
Any other audience participation? Next item on the agenda is the adjournment.
I move for adjournment. I second that.
There's a motion and a second. Third, please call the roll.
Mr. Rashid,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mays,
Yeah.
Ms. Shahid,
Yes.
Ms. Sharpley,
Yes.
Mr. Silvera,
Yes.
Dr. Harris.
Yes.
I have 6 yeses.
6 yeses. Our next meeting is scheduled for Saturday, February 19th at 2 p.m. This meeting is now adjourned.
Wow.